Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we got a pretty good lineup for you guys. I think we have 4 first appearances, 2 honorable mentions, so 6 titles in all to go through. Won't take us very long, but there's definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week ending May 10th, 2024. First up from DC Comics, Batman number 147. This features the first cameo appearance of zur-en-arrh's sidekick. Now, like we always mention with these cameo appearances, the first cameo appearances of characters aren't necessarily as highly sought after or collected as the first full appearances, and the fact that this here is the first cameo appearance of zur-en-arrh's sidekick, we really don't know what DC has planned for this character. If this here is just going to be a B character within a specific story arc, this one here you could skip on. But if DC has bigger plans for this character and they try to make this character more relevant or more important, introduce the character into a small screen, big screen project across other storylines, other story arcs, other title series, then this one here may be more important in the future. It really depends on what DC does with this character, how important this character is going to be. So this one here is definitely going to be speculative, and like we did mention, this here is the first cameo appearance, not necessarily the first full appearance also. So this one here is definitely a spec bet if you choose to pick it up. Pick it up for a spec if you can, otherwise put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Blood Hunters number 1. This features the first team appearance of the Blood Hunters. This is Dagger, Man-Wolf, and Hawkeye. Now we always recommend picking up the first appearance of new characters and new teams in the Marvel titles. Marvel Disney is still churning out a ton of media. You really don't know where any of these characters are going to end up. If they hit the screen, whether it's big or small, collectors will race back, try to find the first appearance in the comics, and you definitely want to own those books. This one here is also issue number 1. This here is the premiere issue of this title series. This here is an event tie-in. Of course, this ties into that Blood Hunt event, which is crossing most of the Marvel titles right now. So this here does depend on what Marvel has planned for this team once this event is over. But with the Marvel titles, like I mentioned, it's typically worth picking up the first appearances anyway. So this one here will be a little more speculative because this here is an event tie-in. This team actually has to go on past the event into other title series to make this team more important. But in our opinion, with these Marvel titles, the risk is worth the reward. Grab this one here for a spec if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Giant Size X-Men number 1. This features the first appearance of Maze, a new villain. Now this is one we do think you should definitely pick up for your collection. This features the first appearance of Maze, this new villain in the X-Men universe, and this here is Giant Size X-Men number 1. Historically, the Giant Size X-Men series, very popular with fans and collectors, and this here does feature the first appearance of this new villain Maze into the X-Men universe. So this one here, in our opinion, is a great pickup. Grab this one here for your collection. And finally, for Marvel Comics, Strange Academy Blood Hunt number 1. This features the first appearance of Pia. Now this here is also an event tie-in, and like we mentioned previously, Marvel really has to do something with these characters going forward after this event is over. If these characters are just important in this Blood Hunt event, and once the event is over, they really go nowhere, then these aren't really worth owning. But like I said, if Marvel does something with these characters going forward, or if they actually convert this Blood Hunt storyline, the story arc, into a small screen, big screen project, if they actually make a feature film here or an animated series, anything that's actually going to draw a lot of attention to this particular series, then once again, these are books you definitely want to own. So with the Marvel titles, like we always mention, the risk is worth the reward on these. For $3 or $4, you could be sitting on a huge winner here if these characters go somewhere. If they go nowhere, you're at $3 or $4. So this one here will be a little more speculative if you choose to pick it up, because you are specking on Marvel doing something with this Pia character going forward after the Blood Hunt event. So grab this one here for a spec if you can. If you can't, then put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. And now for the honorable mentions. From Boom Comics, Crocodile Black number 1. A mundane young man lost in escapism with a spiraling lack of control over his life witnesses something during a delivery job that will change him forever. Now, Boom Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up an option for small screen, big screen projects in the past, and that is a huge price driver for these books. They don't really have to actually make it to the screen. Just being optioned alone is enough to send collectors racing back to the secondary market to try to find these titles. This here is also the premiere issue of this Crocodile Black series, and like I said, Boom Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up an option in the past. So these are great specs in our opinion. Boom Comics, one of the larger small press publishers, they do have a lot of their titles out there that are highly collectible. So in our opinion, this is a great spec. Pick it up for a spec if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list, but keep an eye on this one. And finally from Image Comics, Ain't No Grave number 1. A woman returns to her violent ways to seek revenge against Death, who killed her family. Now, like we just mentioned with Boom Comics, Image Comics, again, one of the larger small press publishers, this had a lot of their titles picked up an option in the past. And this here sounds like it can translate easily to the screen, whether small screen or big screen. So once again, this is a great spec in our opinion. It is speculative though, because you are specking on this getting optioned and picked up. But like I always mention, for the cover price, the risk is worth the reward on these. You definitely don't want to chase them down years later for a lot more money. So in our opinion, this is a great spec bet. Pick it up if you can. If you can't, put it in your B list, but keep an eye on this one as well. So there you have the 6 titles we have for you guys this week. Definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.